the big thing with him is just like I said, he's doing some really, really good things right now, and we just got to continue to eliminate that one or two things in his game, and he's working really hard on that. I mean, he's really urgent about that, and there's a fine line between that. You start being too conservative, you're not going to make the plays. So that's why those guys get paid $16 million a year. When I can make a play and when I can't, when to put the play on the shelf. But he's urgent about it, and I think it's really critical to our success is the turnover ratio. It's amazing whenever we look at our goals, where we were last year and where we were this year. It's amazing. You look at third down goals, red zone goals, explosion goals, rushing we're at times there. You see check, 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 and you see the turnover battle, no, 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 no. And it was just the opposite last year. We were yes, yes, yes in the turnover battle all the way up until the Duke game, and we were poor everywhere else, poor everywhere. So the moral of the story is that we want to continue to improve, but we got to make sure we're taking care of it.
Do you think part of just those one little hiccup do you think part of that was just he hadn't started a lot of college games before this year? Do you feel him sort of, I guess, becoming mentally sharper just with the speed, whatever it is out there that's been, in those one or two instances?
Well, you look at the first thing that comes to my mind was one of the interceptions versus Georgia Tech. Ball was on the left hash. That was probably his 12th time ever repping that play, just because he hasn't been. So you're right on target. He not only hasn't started before, he's an older guy, but he's also, that's why we're trying to do as much as we can the same for him, so he just gets rep after rep after rep after rep after rep, and the luxury with this whole deal is that we get him back, and we don't have to start all over, which is huge. And we just got to keep knocking away and keep chipping away at this thing, and keep them aggressive, keep them smart, and try to eliminate those one or two things that you need to eliminate. But it's a fine line. You rip, you get after it, you correct very harshly whenever those mistakes make. But you better be careful that you don't ruin the guy's confidence, because at the end of the day, if you hold the ball and don't turn it loose, you don't make the plays either.
Did it take a while to adjust at all to playing, I guess, a normal offense, not a spread offense like you've been up against?
We had last week, we had a couple of days that we were able to kind of work on that and kind of line up and, get that mindset of just coming off the ball and being physical and running powers and double teams and big backs hitting up inside. So, we played Georgia Tech just a few weeks ago. It's very similar, from a standpoint of them coming off the ball and being physical. But, they're back. The Connor kid, he runs hard. The Bennett kid runs hard. The James kid then comes in, has got a little bit of speed, that can break a play, where those other guys, they have the ability to break it, but they're going to run through you. We can't arm tackle these guys. And that's the one, when we went up there and played up there 2 years ago, I thought that was our worst football game around here in a long, long time. We missed tackles, just inconsistent efforts and all that. And, I thought that, but they, Pitt came off of losing to Youngstown State and, getting hammered by Cincinnati. I think our kids thought they could just, go out there and show up. He kind of had a wounded bear, and I think you may see a little bit of that this week. I mean, it's a big game. Conference games, you get to this point, each game's a playoff game when it's all said and done. We got to approach it that way.
You mentioned the arm tackling. Obviously, we've talked about this is one of maybe a smaller defense than you've had in the past. Any concern with Connor? He's listed at 250. Your linebackers are obviously smaller. They pack more of a punch than maybe their size suggests.
Well, I hope so. We'll find out. I mean, we've been a good tackling team so far, the first half of the season. And, any good defense that we've had, we've been a good tackling team. And, it comes down to who wants it more when it comes down to that. It's about 90% or 10% technique and 90% want to, when it's all said and done with tackling. So we're going to have to gang tackle. We can't, we're going to have to, run through him. We're going to have to do a lot of things to him, we got to beat him up,